Looks like Wargaming is finally putting the pedal to the metal with the Yoh tanks, the new and weird looking American heavy tech line. And in today's video we are going to have a look at the top dog of the three, the m-v-yoh Tier 10 American heavy tank. My name is RagingRaptor, your residential Swiss dinosaur, and it will be rather interesting. This tank does not come with an autoloader like they did on the World of Tanks Blitz version. However, the m-v-yoh, as you can see, has two different guns it can choose from. A 105mm low alpha, high rate of fire and high DPM gun, and a slower firing 120mm with 440 alpha and less DPM. So without further ado, let's just jump into the 105mm gun. And the 105 itself is already rather interesting. It is the first 360 alpha gun on tier 10 heavy tanks in World of Tanks. You might already be used to this gun when you are playing a lot of Renegade. It has 286mm of base penetration on its APCR round. I'm not that smart. I'm Germanic speaking, meaning that if we want to say 268, we would say 286. But in German, obviously, and not in English. But yeah, the tank has 268mm of penetration, not 286. 268. And 315mm of heat penetration. It also has 440 alpha with its HE with 53mm of pen. The DPM is rather decent. With a 7.8 second base reload time, we get a DPM of 2770. That is almost copy-paste to what we get on the E5. What is also copy-paste to the E5 is the aim time and the accuracy, as well as the accuracy during turret traversing. However, the accuracy during whole movement is slightly worse and is counted to both guns. Both guns also have 10 degrees of gun depression, which is obviously amazing to use. And that's about it for the 105mm. Moving over to the 120mm, we are greeted by less penetration, 225 with AP and 300mm of heat penetration on its premium rounds. It is not a 400 alpha gun, it's a 440 alpha gun. The HE clocks out at 530 as well as 60mm of pen. The DPM is obviously lower. It now has a 10.5 second base reload time, giving it a DPM of 2514, which is roughly 250 less compared to the 105mm gun. You also trade in aim time and accuracy, as well as accuracy during turret traverse for this higher alpha. It is not by much. You gain 0.5 seconds of aim time and you get a little bit less accurate by 0.03. Overall, I genuinely do like this approach. It's the same as we have with the Czech heavy tanks, but not as black and white. More like dark gray and light gray, which is pretty cool if you ask me, because now we can decide if we want to get a little bit more DPM, but it's much less punishing, or if you want to get the more punchy alpha strike. And that is fairly cool, because at the moment, in the current state of the game, most people will probably prefer the higher alpha, as right now it's just how the meta is. High alpha guns just get rewarded a little bit more. However, because you have 360 alpha with the almost same DPM as the E5, it basically means you should be able to reliably permatrack most tanks you're fighting. Obviously, they do need to have not the best repairs, and they do not have something like hardening, which gives them faster track repair time. But in general, I do think that this tank, or at least the 105mm gun, will be picked up by the better players, as they know how to abuse better DPM and less alpha better. Let's move over to the mobility. The mobility is fantastic. Yes, the top speed is not as good as what we've seen on the VZ55 or the 277. It's only 40 kph, but 25 kph in reverse. That is stonks. And it is already better than what the E5 has. Just as a reminder, the E5 drives it in reverse 12 kph. Yes, more than twice as fast in reverse and 3 kph quicker. With a turbocharger, damn, that thing will be flying, because it already has good HP per turn ration, 1.2 more than what the E5 has to offer. Adding to that, we also have great hull and turret traverse speeds. And don't forget, the Yoh tanks obviously have to be a box of gimmicks, meaning they have the emergency tracks to them. AKA, they are not able to get detracked from the front, as they still have some emergency tracks in the back, which give them pretty decent mobility still. Obviously, there is mobility penalty, but it is not as tough as the ones you would get if you would just get tracked. You know, not being able to move. Let's move over to the survivability, and here it really gets hard to judge. 2200 hit points, that is great. The armor on paper is just basically impossible. The hull, it says it has 187 in the front, 90 in the side, and your classical American 38 in the back. That sounds okay. It really depends how thick those bulbous area is in the front on the top side. Most likely 178 is just the lip, so that is actually not that good. The turret, on the other hand, has on paper 356 in the front. Now that is just absurd. That is a huge value, and it's a tough one at that. However, we obviously don't know where exactly those 356mm of armor are. On the side, it's just 102, meaning that side shots will be easy punishable. The other thing is we don't know where the weak spots are. Obviously, there is a cupola, but it's very far back at the rear of the turret, making it hard to hit. And this is more important, you have those rods, those stiffening rods, aka the parts of the oscillating turret. In World of Tanks Blitz, those are weak spots. Those are parts of the damage model, and also in World of Tanks they are. Like, look at the AMX-50B, look at the T-54E1, look at the Kampfpanzer 07RH. All of those tanks have those unique-ish rods to hold on to the turret. They're all part of the damage model. They are narrow, but they will most likely be the weak spot. So yeah, let's wrap this up. 400 meters of fuel range base is already great. In general, the m-v-yoh looks like a very competitive and strong Tier 10 heavy tank. Yes, it doesn't have an autoloader, which is great. Yes, it doesn't have a burst autoloader, which is even better. It is more of a classic heavy tank with very unique looks and the special you can't detract me mechanic. It's kind of weird, but I guess it's also okay. Stats-wise, I would give this tank a pass. It really depends, however, how strong the turret armor will be. If it is too strong, Wargaming most likely has to lower the DPM of both guns, because the E5 pays for its amazing DPM with the huge ass cupola. But yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. My name is RagingRaptor, and don't forget to subscribe and comment on this video. Show the algorithm that you want this video to be pushed forward if you enjoyed it. I did do a little bit of a new style, so let me know if you liked it. And with that, good luck on the battlefield. Cheers.